More than 280 million people of all ages experience depression, which accounts for 3.5% of the world's population and is characterized by low mood and aversion to action. Depression, which is categorized medically as a mental and behavioral condition, has an impact on a person's motivation, thoughts, behavior, feelings, and sense of well-being. Anhedonia, which describes a loss of interest or pleasure in those things that ordinarily bring individuals delight, is considered to be the primary sign of depression. In addition to being a sign of some mood disorders like major depressive disorder or dysthymia, depressed mood can also be a transient, natural response to life events like the death of a loved one. It can also be a side effect of certain medications and medical treatments. Sadness, trouble concentrating and thinking clearly, as well as a substantial change in food or sleep schedule may be present. People who are depressed may feel defeated, hopeless, and suicidal in their thinking. Long-term or short-term options are available. Depression levels might change depending on personality changes or alterations in one's social surroundings. Depression is connected with poor extroversion, and high personality domain neuroticism scores increase the likelihood of developing depressive symptoms as well as all types of depression diagnoses. Other signs of personality include brief but abrupt mood swings, short-term despondency, lack of interest in once familiar pursuits, disturbed sleep, retreat from former social interactions, changes in appetite, and trouble focusing. So let's go over 5 strategies that can help you get through it. But before we do that, know that you probably won't want to implement any of them. Depression operates in that manner. One of the major keys to getting over depression is taking away your motivation and stripping it from you. This will make you believe that nothing will work and that you need to be driven to do something. If your brain ever says, "I don't feel like it today," that's the perfect moment to do the thing you don't want to do. Stop waiting. We're not playing the waited out game anymore, so the first exercise is to stop waiting for motivation to happen, because it won't happen. You make the motivation happen by doing the things you don't want to do, by living the life that you want to live. So get your heart pumping for 15 to 30 minutes each day. People who are depressed might not feel like exercising, but force yourself to do it anyway. Ask a friend or loved one to join you. If you ask your friend or buddy to join you, ask your buddy. Whoever you ask to exercise with you, get them to do it with you, because it will keep you motivated. But once you develop this exercise habit, it won't be long before you notice a change in your mood. But I also want to add that you don't even need to go to a gym. You can simply go for a stroll to get some fresh air. However, you must be consistent. You can't work out one day then claim that it had no effect. Since no depression can affect appetite, some people may not feel like eating at all, while others may feel like overeating. If depression has affected your eating, you need to be extra mindful of getting the right nourishment for your body, the proper nutrition. I'm not saying you need to change your entire lifestyle. You're only going to be eating greens and nuts, and that's how you're going to get past this depression. Eating enough of fruits and vegetables is vital, as is eating regular meals even if you don't feel hungry. Eat something light, like a piece of fruit or some veggies, even if you don't feel like you're hungry. Many people hear this and think it's sort of an all or nothing deal where I either eat healthy or I don't, but that's not what this is about. It's about adding to what you're already doing. I don't care if you're eating fried food as long as you're also eating some vegetables and fruit with it. However, if you later realize that eating all this fried food isn't doing me any favors, we want to minimize that. Discover how to stop thinking negatively. In addition to making you feel awful, depression can also make you think more adversely. Therefore, it's crucial to change those negative thoughts if you want to feel better. Cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT, aims to change prevalent cognitive distortions, which are negative thought processes. It's possible for these thoughts to be unhelpful, such as, "Oh man, that person did just cut me off." But what if they're headed to the hospital? What if they're having a baby? What if they're... If I have an unhelpful thought like, "Oh man, that person did just cut me off," but what if they're such an idiot and they're so selfish? How do you think the rest of my day is going to go? I'm using emotional reasoning when I categorize this person and draw inferences about who they are. My brain has deceived me into believing anything because my body feels a certain way must be real. Use your search engine to look up harmful thought patterns. It's your responsibility to defend yourself. I'll make a whole separate video on how to do this, but a good way to think about it is to take the first automatic thought that comes to your mind and picture yourself in front of Judge Judy. You know Judge Judy, and it's pretty terrifying. You say, if I had to prove that this thought is absolutely true to Judge Judy, I'm standing here. First four numbers, if we do the same thing every day, we'll get the same results, therefore alter your patterns and routines. Make an effort to switch things up every day because depression loves to thrive in the same routine. There is a concept called behavioral activation, and that is what this is all about. Schedule out even a few things every day that you are going to do differently, but do it with meaning. Don't just do it because someone told me on the internet that I should change. I'm going to do my homework outside today, go exercise, call a friend, and make this task that I've decided to do really meaningful. Do it and explain how you're going to change it. My duty today is to make someone smile. This needs to be done with purpose number 5. I'm going to school today and I'm going to make everyone I see smile. Try to focus on the positive. Depression changes a person's thoughts, making everything occasionally seem terrible. If you are depressed and only notice the negative, it can seem quite bleak. Make an effort to recognize the positive aspects of life. I'm not saying you should try to think of 2 positives for every negative idea, although you certainly might. Rather, I want you to focus on noticing the positive aspects of life. Be thankful. Set an alarm on your phone to remind you of 2 things you have to be thankful for. When the alarm goes off, you should search the room for the items you are thankful for. I'm really happy that someone made a window because if they hadn't, the cold air would be blowing on me right now. I don't know what they call it, but I'm breezing on me. I'm so grateful for the screw holding that plate to the wall together because if it weren't for it, I'd probably stick my finger in there and shock myself. I'm also grateful that I can breathe at all right now. Isn't it amazing that our lungs can expand and contract when we breathe? It doesn't matter if your alarm goes off 30 times a day to remind you to be grateful or to notice, because we need to be aware to even remember to notice. Think about your strengths, your gifts, and your blessings. Notice the things that you're doing every single day and don't just do it quickly. Spend a lot of time with it. Write it down. Most importantly, remember to practice patience with yourself, as there is no quick treatment for depression. Healing takes time. You went to go hang out with your friends and made it really meaningful. You've noticed a lot of things today, and you're eating well and exercising. But that night, you won't be saying, "Sweet, my depression is gone." This is awesome. This is great. It takes time. Stay consistent. Do it every day, regardless of whether you feel like it or not. After all, if we waited for motivation, you'd never get started. Thank you so much for viewing this. If you know somebody who is experiencing depression, please let us know. Please share what has worked and what hasn't. I'll see you again soon. Use the tools. Let me know how it's going for you.